Hello, hello, and welcome to the summit. Your healthiest years yet are coming. My name is Anya Perry. I'm a work-life balance coach with almost a decade of experience in health and fitness industry. I am so delighted to be here, and I wanted to take a moment and thank Brianna and other amazing speakers. I think the summit is so timely, and Brianna has done an amazing job. We've hosted so many summits together. I'm always so giddily excited about every single one of them because not only we get to teach as coaches, we get to connect with you, but we also get to learn from every single speaker in the summit. So I'm super stoked that you're here. You are in the right place if you want to learn about energy hacks for women 40 plus. And I am, as your host for this talk, I want to dive into a few topics. I'll tell you what I do, how I work. I'll tell you about a few myths when it comes to energy, because I think it's so important to hear them out again and pay attention to what is actually true. And I would also love to give you the 3 hacks for energy so you can experience that energy boost within next 24 hours. Very practical in my teaching. If you have a piece of paper and a pen, grab them now, take notes if you feel like it. There are a couple of cool words I'm going to share with you today. And stay tuned until the end. I have something super special for you as well. Now, before I dive into the whole topic of energy, you probably want to know, like, who's this girl? What's her story? In a nutshell, my story started back in 2012, where I hit such a point of breakdown and probably the lowest point in my health, where I realized that I can't continue living like this. I had anemia, I had high blood pressure, I was taking 3-hour naps because I had no energy, I was covered in acne. I never exercised. I was smoking in the past, and I was riding my life on sugar train. All I was doing, I was eating high amount of carbohydrates and a lot of sugar, and that was keeping me happy, but only for a bit. And I realized there are so many mindset patterns, so many unhealthy habits that were built into my system over the course of the years. It was time to part with them. And ever since, my life completely changed. I became an athlete. I'm a CrossFitter. I'm a weightlifting coach, an athlete. I'm competing. I'm not in my 40s yet, but I do work with a lot of women in their 40s. There are a few things I think would be fundamental for me to share with you today if you feel like you've been losing hope that you are going to be able to have it all. One of my favorite things to teach women that once you learn to restructure your patterns, your mindset, your energy, and your habits, you can truly have the most beautiful, balanced life you desire, and you have the energy to do everything you would like. So I feel like I'm ready to spice things up and share more about energy. So we're going to talk about energy generally. We're going to talk about 3 myths around energy that are super common, and don't feel bad if you believe in them. That's okay. I'm here to bust those myths today, and I'll share 3 hacks for energy that you can implement starting today. Before deep breath, we need to take a deep breath. In this season of our lives, I believe deep breaths are very important. So I want to talk about energy because most of us talk about, I don't have the time, and we talk about time management and we feel like we're tired, but we're not connecting those 2 pieces. You may have all time in the world, but if you don't have the energy, you cannot do what you want to do. You cannot go on that hike. You can't run after your child because you're exhausted, or your child asks you to play, or you want to start a business, or you want to go back to school. Whatever this is, if you don't feel like you have energy, everything is becoming a big obstacle. So that's why I mentioned I feel like it's foundational for us. I don't even know the word exists, foundational, I made it up, to have our energy. And I used to think the older you're getting, the less energy you're going to have, which is partially true. But we're going to talk about this. I don't want to jump the gun first. Where do we get the energy? Have you ever thought about it? We sleep, we sort of replenish that. But most of our energy comes from a cool thing called mitochondria. If you were to take one thing from this conversation today, I want you to remember that word. So you're being cool at parties and throw the word mitochondria around. I call it a mitochondria because mitochondria is the powerhouses of the cell. When you are consuming anything, which usually 3 categories is fats, proteins, and carbs, you are fueling those cells. And they're sensitive and they're not. There are ways to improve your mitochondria, but they give us energy. That's where it's coming from. As simple as that, as complicated as that. And if you ever seen supplements for mitochondria, big caveat here, there are ways to take supplements for anything and everything, but there are ways to improve how your mitochondria works and creates more energy on a natural level through many things that I'm going to talk about. So if you're thinking about those invisible little powerhouses, they're in your body, creating those, working on those biochemical processes and constantly boosting energy, firing up all the cylinders. We don't think about them, right? So that's where the energy comes from. But most of us also don't do things to produce that energy. Yes, we sleep, we recover. Yes, we eat, but sometimes it's questionable. Yes, we sort of move. Sometimes we exercise more in certain seasons. And I feel like it's absolutely paramount to think about energy as your, not only the fuel, but energy is not only going to be on the physical level, supporting you on the physical level, you also have other levels, right? You also have the mental level. When someone comes into your life or your office, interrupts you, and there was a negative person, a toxic person, you're frustrated with them, and your energy suddenly dips. On the physical level, it may be embodied as you were eating something, and 2 hours later, you're crashing. On the mental level, you feel the drain, you feel the brain fog, and no matter how physically like you have it, on the mental level, you can't grasp the project, or you feel like you can't focus, you're scatterbrained all over the place, or running like a chicken with a head cut off because you have so much anxiety and that nervous energy. So energy can be displayed in our body, embodied in our bodies in so many different levels of ways. I teach energy on 3 levels, on your physical, mental, and emotional level, because I think all of them are different. So that's enough talking about mitochondria and energy. And obviously, it's hard to think about it this way. The mitochondria can be affected by our emotions. We're not going to go down that route. This is not the scientific talk I want to share with you today. Let's talk about the fuel that you're putting in your body. And I like to see it as a representation of 2 different cars. Let's say you work so hard and you got yourself a Mercedes. You're not going to go to a gas station and put the cheapest fuel in the Mercedes. You're going to buff it out, wax on, off every weekend to make sure it's shiny. You're going to schedule your maintenance because you have that preciousness of it. You have the factor of exclusiveness. You have the factor of I worked so hard for it. I'm so invested into it. Often most of us, and I see especially with the season of what's been going on in the world for a while, we kind of let things slip and slide and lose our focus of what's important, is forgetting that this vessel, this timeline, this energy that you have is your only chance. The only chance to do what you want to do in life, the only chance to create what you want, to support your children, to nourish your body, to create something big, to leave impact. And I know if you're listening to this, you are in the right place because I know you're a purpose-driven woman. Now, think about the fuel you're putting in your body. Think about the fuel. You have a cheap car and it dinged up and you're hitting it again. You kind of don't care. And you're sometimes let it run out of gas, sometimes putting really crappy fuel. There are 2 different ways to treat your body and you treat your energy levels. So I want you to think about treating your body like a nice Mercedes or a nice expensive coat, whatever this is you can come up with, analogy you come up with. And that's going to shift your attitude towards taking care of yourself on the whole level of, your healthiest identity. One of the things I teach women a lot is you have to see yourself as the healthiest version of you and act on it. What does she do? How does she live? How does she replenish her energy? And on the other 2 levels that I also mentioned, on the emotional level, on the mental level, there are so many energy drains, so many energy, I call them leaks, energy leaks that you can experience by getting on your phone and getting sucked in for 2 hours, by talking to someone who you have no boundaries with. Here you go. Here goes your energy. Goodbye. Whatever you're planning to do that day is gone. So I wanted to be mindful and careful, and maybe from now on, start bringing more awareness. Where does your energy go? Why did you experience this crash? Why do you feel like taking a nap in the midst of the day when you got good sleep? Do you get good sleep? And things like that. So I want to tap into energy myths a little bit more because I hear them weekly, if not more frequently, daily sometimes. And I think it's important to break through them. I know there are so many levels to every truth, and truths can coexist. This has been the truth for me. I have more energy in my 30s than I had in my 20s. And I hear the first one all the time. This is just my age. I'm aging. I'm changing. My metabolism slowed down. Good news. You're supposed to slow down. Your metabolism will slow down naturally. You were evolutionarily built this way. That does not mean that you can give this all the power and say, I'm just going to go with it. That also means that you can still support your body on so many levels through so much nourishment and encouragement and support. And I'm going to talk about that. So that's really, really common, saying that I'm slowing down because I'm getting older. I have an aunt, my husband's aunt, who is in her 70s. She's 73. She kicks my butt at the gym. She decided that I don't care about the age. It's just a number. I'm going to be that spicy cookie, and I'm going to go and kick your butt at the gym working the weights. So that's the first one. The second one is aligned with nutrition, very much so, because we are sustaining our energy through sleep and nutrition. Those are the first two, the rudimentary things we have to do to survive. So the second one is I have to eat small meals to keep my energy up. That myth is so old right now and so outdated. I hope doctors are going to catch up because they're doing the work, patching us up, but not doing the work enough to research that it's not correct. You don't have to keep your blood sugar up, because once your blood sugar is leveled out, once it's not going through the spikes of I had a big sandwich for lunch and then pizza for dinner, up and down, crashing every 30 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, your energy will level out. I keep saying this story. I've shared it for almost 9 years now, almost 10 years next year, my anniversary of healthy eating. When I stopped eating sugar, processed foods as wheat, corn, vegetable oils, seed oils, and started eating a lot of vegetables, meats, nuts, seeds, for the first month, it was amazing. It was still amazing. But I slept for 4 hours because I had so much energy. I didn't know what to do with myself. If you want to experience that, go the route of paleo reset or just clean eating reset, do a Whole30. This is a beautiful, beautiful way to just restore your settings, because your computer most likely needs reboot. That's why it's losing a lot of energy. Eating small meals is only going to provide you a temporary fix, the Band-Aid. You'll need to rip off that Band-Aid to learn how your body operates on sustainable energy. Sometimes it's through extended periods of fasting, 8 hours, so 9 hours, so 10 hours. Sometimes it's eating bigger meals, so you're more fulfilled and satisfied, so you don't have to constantly graze. You're not a cow. You don't have to eat all the time to have a lot of energy. If you don't believe me, I'm more than happy to message me directly to share links with you to research, because all of my knowledge is supported by research. I'm not just telling you what my own experience was, even though it is the case. And the last one is the myth number 3 is to put your life on hold to replenish your energy, to do everything you want to do, to take care of yourself, to start exercising, to start sleeping more, to start eating better. I call it a BS myth because I believe that you can do and have it all once you have the clear strategy of what needs to be done. What do you want to do? How you want to approach it? And not relying on your motivation, willpower, circumstances, because trust me, the moment you set your mind to something, the universe, God, angels will throw something your way that you need to address. So it's going to be a test. How are you going to approach this? Are you going to wait for another month to start working on your energy? I recommend you start working on your energy right after this talk, because you still have to eat. You still will need to go to bed. You still will have thoughts and thinking after this talk. listening to me. So you can address this anytime, or you can start Googling mitochondria, how it works, and what can I do for my mitochondria. Feel free. Again, more than plenty of resources I can share with you on this topic. Are you ready for some energy hacks? Here's a caveat. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan at all, in fact, of diets, fast fixes, quick fixes, patches, band-aid solutions, boot camps that just get you in, get you out. I'm a big fan of long-lasting changes. I call myself the habit queen. And I believe that it's so important to understand the word hack I'm using here is a tool for you. So you can interrupt the pattern that you currently have that's not been working because you're exhausted, brain fogged, and tired and not thinking clearly and can't focus and not reaching your goals. So the hack here is something for you to put in your tool belt and keep practicing until the tool gets so sharp and so good, it becomes automated, it becomes ingrained in your nature. And this is exactly why I wake up with a ton of energy. That's why I can run for 14 hours. I can hike for 5-6 hours straight. I can do marathons. I don't do them anymore, but I'm in a way proud of the energy levels I've created because I put in those little tiny hacks together, put them in my tool belt, and anytime I needed them, I used them. And sometimes it can be one, it can be a different one. It's going to be up to you to learn what your body needs. Bring that awareness to what exactly you need. Is it food? Because I know you know it. I know you're intelligent and smart enough to know exactly what you need to do. So take a moment. I know I'm putting you through a lot here. Take a moment and write down, what do you think is causing your lack of energy right now? Is it people? Is it toxic relationships? Is it misalignment that leads to burnout because you're doing something that you're not enjoying anymore? Is it nutrition that you feel like you definitely could improve here? Whatever this is, I want you to write it down and I'll give you a moment. And we're going to start talking about those hacks. You ready? The first one is to empower your mind. Empower your mind. What does it have to do with energy? By empowering your mind, by empowering who you are, by understanding your true self, bringing that self-awareness, who you are. And right now you might say, I'm one tired mom. I'm so stressed and overwhelmed and exhausted. But that's not who you truly are in your core. You need to know who you are to take yourself there, to empower your mind, your thinking patterns, your constant rumination about something. So it's positive, productive, and efficient. That means you can have it all, because often we say, well, I can't do this. I limit myself here. I'm financially limited here, or I don't have the capacity to do a back squat, whatever this is. As long as you keep saying this, you're going to be stuck in this position. When you start rewiring your thinking, that's why a lot of my work is not about nutrition anymore. It's not about fitness. It's not about just those tiny habits, even though it is a lot about habits. It's about learning to unlearn what's not serving you. Are you procrastinating? Are you procrastinating on eating a good meal so you have more energy? Here is where you start. Are you self-sabotaging because you know how much goodness is coming your way, but you're so freaking scared of it, you will not start going to the gym or becoming stronger. So today, I encourage you to start empowering your mind. There are so many ways to do it. It can be affirmations. It can be journaling and diving deep into the topic of who am I? Why do I want to have more energy? What would I do with all of it? Let's say, imagine someone delivers you a big package tomorrow and you have a ton of energy. What are you going to do with it? Where are you going to spend it? And that should tell you the route you can take your health, your wellness, your mindset, and in direction. That's the beauty of it too, because you can create a new story in your mind and tell yourself what you can do. What do you want to stand for? And thus you will create new neurons, new neural pathways in your brain. And then it's the matter of practicing and empowering yourself, saying, and of course, it can be really challenging at first, saying, I'm a superwoman, I have a lot of energy, but you're truly exhausted, can barely keep your eyes open, want a nap. But I want you to hold that big vision for yourself, because that's where it starts. Once you start believing that this is what you want, this is who you are, and start acting from that place, from that identity level change. And scientifically, it's proven it's way better than just the change of your habits. So empower yourself. Remember, you can have the whole slice. You don't need the whole pie, not a slice, not just the slice that you're settling down for. You can play big, but you gotta step out of your comfort zone. And Tara Moore wrote a beautiful book called Playing Big. If you feel like you've been playing small, get that book, read it, and start going and narrow that energy down to the place where you know, this is exactly what I need to do to get more energy. I need to focus on this, break it down, put it in your calendar, and go for it. The second one is probably even as important and my favorite topic to talk about, energy for nutrition, because I work with health coaches, I work with athletes, and I work on so many levels. I support my own body to do a lot, honestly. And nutrition is, as we talked about, eating those small meals. It's not necessarily the fact that you're going to empower your body to give you a ton of energy back. So you got to understand what's happening in your body. You're feeling sluggish, you're feeling bloated, you're feeling you have a bunch of digestion issues, your skin is not glowing, you are overall exhausted and feeling dull. This is the point to start improving every single meal that you're eating. You don't need to cause drastic, dramatic changes and make it feel like, oh my goodness, it's coming. I'm so nervous about it. It's coming my way. It's a diet plan or it's lifestyle change, whatever you call it. But you can improve things by taking one step today, making your meal 1% better. If you need any resources, have more than plenty. And there is a lot on the internet that can be tricky and confusing. So make sure your sources are tested, experiment yourself as well. Is this keto for you? I don't know. Maybe is this a paleo reset? Maybe I don't know what that is for you, because you are a unique snowflake. You gotta approach those changes to nutrition on by individual level. Knowing, and the best way to start doing it is actually having a food and mood log. Understanding, right, 2 hours after I ate my meal, I felt horrible. I drank coffee and my stomach was upset, or I had acne 2 days later. Paying attention to changes within anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 days, 48 hours is going to give you more data. More data is good to collect and analyze, and you can do it without anybody. And of course, if you need a health coach, reach out. And understanding that if you start dropping things that your body is not meant to process, for example, packaged goods, processed foods, junk food, sugar, we're not meant to eat that stuff. We're meant to chew our food properly, not chew mushy bread, soft things that we see so much in supermarkets. We're meant to go through that broccoli. We're meant to gnaw on chicken cartilage. We're meant to, I know it's a funny example. I do that all the time because I was brought up in such a poor family. We have to eat more of the meat from the bone. But we were meant and wired to eat nutrient-dense foods that give us that energy. What we learn and fall into a trap of convenience and speedy meals and fast meals. And now we're also looking for fast solutions for our weight gain that happened not overnight, obviously. So start looking at your meals as a way to improve your nutrition by 1%. Maybe it's going to be adding more vegetables, so they push out processed pasta that you're eating. Maybe it's adding healthy fat like butter or ghee or avocado, coconut oil to your meals instead of skimping on your fat and loading up on plain white things that cause nothing good to your systems, because processed foods are stripped down of nutrients that your body is craving. When you don't get the nutrients, your body starts breaking down in small ways, and the hormonal way, and your digestion, your endocrine system, all of that. And it starts giving you little signals. Hey, you're tired now. You've been tired for a long time. Your skin looks dull. You are bloated. You're gaining weight steadily and surely. What is happening? Those are the signals. So start fueling your body properly with a lot of respect. Focus on good, better, best scale, because not all of us can afford organic, grass-fed and pasture-raised, delicious farm-to-table dining. It's okay. Now you can go to Walmart and get decent quality of meats and meals from Walmart. So, and they even, canned frozen things, they still can be good. So start focusing on improving those taking those tiny steps towards better nutrition, because you'll see the biggest bang for your buck will come from that. And the last one is related to habit change. So the first one was empowering your mind, making sure that you are rewiring your brain with who you want to be, with the thoughts and positivity that is not fake positivity necessarily, but with your truth. So dig in there and going. The second step of digging is going to be through your nutrition, improving things there. And the last one is going to be making sure you're staying consistent, because I've mentioned that many times. For us to create a habit that takes over 400 repetitions, I was just going through some notes that I was a musician in the past, fun fact. And I was going through the notes and doing the hours, because in my diploma, there are hours added up to how much time I spent in music, how much time I spent in class, how much time I practiced. Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hour rule. That's when it becomes good at something. So where am I headed with this? To create a habit, if you just did it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, most likely it's gonna take a long time for you to create that habit to the point of automation. When it's efficient, integrated with your lifestyle, it's a part of your life. You just don't think about it like brushing your teeth. If you are desiring those big results and you get so overwhelmed, oh my goodness, there's so much I want to do. I want to do this for my fitness. I want to do this for my nutrition. I want to do this for my stress management. You need to break it down to the point of a list of 20, 30 habits and start plugging them in. And you don't need to do 20, 30. You can start with one. Once you're successful at one, yes, it will take time. Yes, you'll need to be patient, but it's almost a guarantee that you will get where you want to go, in comparison to the previous version of you, where you would start and stall, start and stall, start and quit, start, didn't get result. You see where I'm headed? Because if the person A goes from here to there steadily, and the person B goes from left to right, back, like that squirrel on the road, I'm not sure if I'm choosing my habits or they're choosing me, you're not going to get far. So today, my encouragement to you is to break down your big goals, big lofty goals, and create tiny, tiny habits that will create exponential results. They also add up. Once you're good at something, drinking water, add something else. It's called habit stacking. You probably heard me talking about it. So if you're not willing, and this is why I wanted to talk about it pertaining to energy levels, because most of us say, like, I don't have the energy, I'll just go sleep, and not willing to do anything else. There are so many things you can do for your energy. You can start, and I'm going to share them with you. These are the examples of tiny habits. You can start exercising 5 minutes a day. You can start going to bed 5 minutes earlier. You can spend 5 minutes, 3 minutes in the sun in the morning, activating your body clock. You can spend 5 minutes in the red light of the sunset. It's also going to help you. Onset of melatonin, better sleep, better deep sleep. You can get a gadget and track your sleep and see how you're doing it. So you can actually have data on this project, more energetic you. You can get supplements. Again, I'm staying away from supplements until most of my clients, until we naturally unravel what's happening in your body, where's the energy comes from. On the physical, on the emotional and mental level, why can't you focus what's bothering you? Why are you feeling overwhelmed? I work with stressed out, overwhelmed women. Most of the time, it's so many inputs that coming into our body, and they're not going anywhere. It's just getting stuck in the pattern, in the perfectionistic mindset, and often all or nothing mindset, and sometimes with excuses or events of the past that trigger you, that you have fears over. And unraveling that and understanding, okay, how come I don't have the energy today? Because I feel so unsuccessful, because I feel so low, I feel so unmotivated. What does it look like for me if I continue living this life? Who am I to my core? Am I this person? I'm not. The answer is you're not. And then unraveling this thread and taking one step at a time, trying to cross this big pond or river by laying one rock in front of your foot, one after another. And on a mental level and emotional level, it is helpful to work with a coach, because mindset blocks and beliefs that we have sometimes take a little bit of support, and blind spots are hard to see. So, but you can also do that with the help of books, tools. Again, I have more than plenty to share with you. So I know that's been a lot, and I want to share all of this with you, and I have so much more to say, and I don't want to make this talk too long. So today we talked about where your energy is coming from, why mitochondria is important to work on, what happens when we don't have energy, and we're talking about having no time. What are three energy myths that are stopping you and kind of shielding you from success that you desire, and three energy hacks that will change your life. Start working on that. Start working on that identity, the healthiest mindset that you can see yourself as a highly energetic, more hyper than Jack Russell puppy energy level. And on the second one was fueling the body properly, nourishing it because that needs it. And the last one is taking those tiny steps and actually seeing how you can continue working on your energy, on mental energy, on physical energy, and emotional energy, whether it's setting boundaries with people who drain you, or eating a better meal, going to bed on time, getting more in the sun, or maybe it's the time for you to change the job. Don't tell anybody I said that. Sometimes the burnout, I've been burnt out 3 times in my career, that's the misalignment as well. So I hope this brought you some good thoughts and reflection. I hope you took notes. I really appreciate you taking the time and learning, because I know you're ahead of so many people already because you took the time today to learn. Remember to join Brianna's group. And to wrap it up, I promised you a little gift you can grab, because so many of us, I feel like, so stressed in this season. You can grab 53 free stress busters. My clients love them. I believe that none of them include meditation. So if you have a hard time, just like me, meditating, there are 50 stress busters that are extremely effective for people who are struggling with stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and start implementing them one at a time. And that's all I want to share today. Make sure to join the community to get more information on the summit, on the giveaways, on the win awesome prizes. Be active in the group. That's all it takes. And I will see you there.